You guys are not prepared for the story time I have for you guys today. It is so embarrassing, and I was actually debating on whether or not I should tell you guys, but let's give you the dirty little story that I have to share with you. So this is a period horror story. This was during college, and I have a irregular period, so I don't get mine often, and when I do, it's usually not that heavy of a flow, and I'm usually prepared. And I just started dating this guy, and we were really hitting it off. This was one of my first serious relationships, and I was just getting ready to meet his parents, and we were actually going to his hometown to meet his parents for the weekend and go on a trip together. So his family actually had built a new house at this point, which is very important to the story. So this is also the first time I was meeting them in person. I was really excited and nervous because I was so head over heels for this guy at the time. And we decided to go to town, and we drove there together, no issue. And I was not supposed to get my period this weekend. So I went to visit the family for the weekend, not prepared at all for what was about to happen. So the first night went well. I met the family and we all meshed very well. And I had only been dating my boyfriend for about 8 months at this time. And we dated for a couple years after this story happened. But what happened was we were meeting with his family and they really liked me. We hit it off. We had a really nice lunch. His family cooked a barbecue and we had some really nice wine. And then we went to bed, and I went to bed with in a bedroom with my boyfriend at the time, and we were sleeping on the guest bed. And when we were in there, the whole room was white floors, white bedroom. The whole place was brand new, and they had just recently moved into their new home, which was very lovely. And when I was in his room, we fell asleep very quickly, him and I. We were just very tired, and we had a long day. We were also in school together, and we worked a lot too, so we were just very tired, and we had to drive there as well, which was about a 2-hour drive, and we were just both very asleep, and I fell asleep very quickly. And then when we actually went to sleep, I woke up in the middle of the night because I felt wet, and I was like, that's weird. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on. So I get up, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like sweating or something. Now, I feel, girls, you know this feeling, where you're like, oh my gosh, I have my period, and I'm on his white bed, his parents' white bed, new house, and there's white carpeting underneath me, and I'm like, let's just get to the bathroom. And I'm panicking on the inside because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm meeting this brand new family. I don't know what to do. It's the middle of the night. No one's awake. So I run to the bathroom, and thank the Lord I did not stain that white carpeting. And I hid in the bathroom for a little bit. I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't even think I had a tampon there which was dumb now that I think about it. But anyway, I was not expecting my period then. But I was in the bathroom, and I'm like cleaning myself up and trying to make like a little cotton pad, like just trying to make do with something temporarily until the morning. And I was just praying that it did not get on his bed or bed sheets. And I was about ready to have a panic attack. It was like really, and by the time I actually went back in the bedroom, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And one of his parents was actually getting up for working out. She works out really early at a gym, and I was just so afraid to give them the wrong impression. And of course I get my period, and then so I was really worried what to do. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna break up with me, like we're never gonna talk to each other again, like this is so embarrassing. And of course when you're not expecting it, it comes at the worst time. So always bring a tampon, a pad, or something, even if it's in your car, whatever. But I go back into the room and I realize that it's on the sheets. And so I'm like, okay, there's no going back. I have to do something about this. And I wake up my boyfriend and I say, hey, you know, I got my period. I was not expecting it. And so then I looked at him and I'm like, okay, he's not as mad as I think he is. He actually was really nice. He's like, oh yeah, that's no problem at all. And he just pulled off the sheets and he's like, yeah, I'll just take care of it. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I can like clean it or whatever, or no big deal. And he didn't make it a big deal at all. He just was like, oh yeah, that's not a problem. So he asked if I needed anything else, and I ended up asking for some sweatpants from him because I had bled through my pajamas, unfortunately. So he gave those to me, and which worked fine. And in the morning, he ended up washing the sheets. So then I knew I was in the clear with him. But it was a terrifying situation to go through, and I have never felt so embarrassed in my entire life. And thankfully that moment actually brought us closer together, which is actually kind of funny that it happened. But it was definitely a bonding experience that I didn't want to have to go through. And unfortunately this has happened more than once to me. So if you want to know another story that's happened to me, comment down below for a part 2 to the series, because I have a bunch of them. Unfortunately with the irregular cycle, I've had a lot of weird stuff happen. But I like to keep the conversation going, and you guys can comment down below your horror stories that have happened. But luckily I dodged a bullet. His family never found out it had happened, and he handled it maturely, and I just overreacted. So from then on, I definitely carried some tampons with me. But yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.